Hi, this is javinkharod, a chemical engineer by profession, going to continue our today's topic, fire basic. Now, first question arises, what is fire? A fire is the rapid oxidation of material in the exothermic chemical process of combustion which releases heat, light and various reaction products. In any chemical industries, fire hazard is very common and most of material, chemical or solvent used in chemical industries used for the manufacture of the product have a potential for fire, hence there are always risks of fire in chemical industries. But consider the risk of fire. We cannot close the industries. On contrary, we need to reduce the risk of fire. To understand causes of fire, there are concepts by name fire triangle. Let us we learn in a detail. Just one of the component is removed, the fire triangle will collapse and the fire will extinguish. Let's explore the component in more detail. Heat. A sources of heat is required in order for ignition to occur and different material have a different flash point. Example, the lowest temperature at which ignite. Unfortunately, combustion reaction also produces heat by the burn further increases temperature of fuel. For some of type of fire, heat can be cooled with application of water. Now fuel. A fire cannot begin if there are no material to burn. Home and business are full of flammable material such as paper, oil, wood, fabrics, any other can serve a fuel for a fire. Some of material burn more easily than other. Fuel are probably the most difficult side of the fire triangle to remove. So it's wise to store them appropriate to prevent them become fire hazard. Now, third one is oxygen. To sustain the combustion reaction, oxygen, oxidizing agent, is needed. It is react the burning fuel to release heat and carbon dioxide. Earth atmosphere consists 21% oxygen. So there are plenty availability trigger of fire in other two components are present. Fire blanket and certain fire extinguisher remove the oxygen side of the triangle. By removing it, displace it, causing suffocation and thereby ceasing the combustion reaction. Now fire triangle fact. Normal air contains 21% oxygen. Fuel may also contain oxygen. Heat sources include sun, hot surfaces, spark, friction and electric energy. Fuel source can be solid, liquid or gases. Now, what is fire tetrahedron? The fire tetrahedron is a slightly more complex model. Describe the component needed ignite, sustain a fire. It is four-sided geometric representation of the four factors necessary for fire. Fuel, any substance that can combust. Heat, heat energy sufficient causes ignition. Oxidizing agent, air contain oxygen and chemical chain reaction, sufficient reaction energy to produce ignition. Now fire tetrahedron explained in a detailed manner. The fire tetrahedron include three components covered fire triangle with the addition of chemical chain reaction. The model is simply adding another dimension on the traditional fire triangle model by treating the chemical reaction as is one separate component. Some of fire extinguisher work applying extinguishing agent. The fire inhibit the chemical reaction molecular level. The fire tetrahedron represent addition component. The chemical chain reaction. There are three already present in fire triangle. Mostly consist presence sufficient amount of free radical. Combustion is the chemical reaction that feed fire more heat and allow to continue. Once a fire has started, resulting exothermic chain reaction sustain fire and allow it to continue until or unless List one of element of fire is block. Foam can be used to deny fire oxygen it needed. Water can be used to lower the temperature, fuel below ignition point or disperse the fuel. Halon can be used to remove free radical, create a barrier, inert gas in a direct attack on chemical reaction responsible for the fire. When the fire involves burning metal like lithium, magnesium, titanium, etc., known as class D fire, it becomes even more important to consider the energy release. The metal react faster with the water than the oxygen and thereby more energy is released. Putting water on such a fire result in fire getting hotter or even exploding. Carbon dioxide extinguishers are ineffective against certain metals such as titanium. Therefore, inert agent dry sand must be used to break the chain reaction of metallic combustion. In the same way, soon four-element tetrahedron is entirely removed. Combustion stop. Use of fire triangle uses fire tetrahedron. The fire triangle help you to understand possibility occurrence fire, which will help to design process safety. The fire triangle is base of the fire extinguisher, which work eliminate one of the fire element extinguish the fire. Example use fire triangle. Consider the wood block present in ground due to any reason. Fire broke out in it. Wood is flammable material. One of the fire triangle is present. It is present in open ground, so it will get oxygen from atmosphere. Atmosphere consists 21% oxygen and they are considered fire ignition has been provided purposefully. All the element complete fire triangle and result fire wood block. Now to extinguish fire, we have removed either element from fire triangle. If we simply put the blanket over the wood, consider the fire is not widely spread, then blanket will isolate and oxygen from the fire will break the fire triangle and this way can suppress the fire. On the same basis, the fire extinguisher work. There are different type of fire extinguisher and type of fire extinguisher are described not in a detailed manner but just describe water, powder, foam, carbon dioxide and wet chemical. This all fire extinguisher work the same principle which is break the fire triangle by eliminating one of the component of fire triangle in the chemical industries. Job work are conducted every single day like preventive maintenance of equipment replacement to ensure safe working environment and safety at workplace. The part of industrial safety, a work permit system has been followed, especially determined reduce risk of industrial fire accident. Hot work permit system has been followed, work permit system in chemical industries. Now oxidizer. The oxidizer is another reactant of chemical reaction. Most cases it is the ambient air and particular one of the component oxygen by depriving of fire air. The fire can extinguish such when covering flame of small candle with empty glass. The contractory air is blown over wood fire as with bellow. The fire is activated by introduction more air. Some of chemical fluorine gas perchlorate, salt, ammonium perchlorate and chlorine trifluoride act oxidizer. Some of more powerful once oxygen itself a fire-based reaction. The oxidizer can be very difficult to put out until oxidizer exude and that leg of the fire triangle cannot be broken by normal means. Depriving of air will not smoother it. In certain cases, some of the explosive oxidizer combustion, they are the nitroglycerin, unstable molecule oxidizing part, some of the molecule oxidizable part. Now reaction initiated by activating energy in most of cases heat. Several examples include friction in case match, heating, electric wire, a flame, propagation of fire, and spark from a lighter, from any starting electric device. There are also many other ways to bring sufficient activation energy include electricity, radiation, pressure, all which will lead a temperature rise. Most of cases, heat produced enable self-sustainability of the reaction, enable certain reaction to grow temperature, which liquid produce sufficient vapor to get a flammable mix with self-sustainable combustion called flashpoint. Now extinguish of the fire. Stop combustion reaction. Three elements of fire triangle must be removed. Without sufficient heat, fire cannot begin. It cannot be continued heat can be removed. Application of substance which reduces amount of heat available. Fire reaction. This is often water which absorb heat for a phase change from water to steam, introducing sufficient quantity type of powder gas. Flame reduces amount of heat available. The fire reaction same manner. Scraping amber from burning structure also remove heat source. Turning off electricity. Electric fire remove the ignition source. Without fuel, a fire will stop. Fuel can be removed naturally. There where fire are consumed, all vulnerable fuel manually, mechanically or chemically remove the fuel from the fire. Fuel suppression is important factor. Fire suppression and bases most of major tactics such as control burn. The fire stop because lower concentration of fuel vapor flame lead to a decreases energy release, lower temperature, removing the fuel thereby decreases the heat. Without sufficient oxygen, a fire cannot begin and it cannot be continued. With a decreased oxygen concentration and the combustion process, slow oxygen can be denied. Fire using carbon dioxide, fire extinguisher, a fire blanket or water. Scientists develop a concept of fire triangle aid to understand causes of fire and how they can be prevent, extinguish heat, fuel and oxygen combine in a precise way to fire and start to continue burn. Now, what are four classes of fire? Class A solid material, wood, paper, fabrics, and some of plastic. Class B liquid, gas, such as alcohol, ether, gasoline, or grease. Class C electric failure from appliances, electronic equipment, and wiring. And Class D are metallic substances such as sodium, titanium, zirconium, or magnesium. Now, oxygen, heat, and fuel are frequently referred as the fire triangle. Add in the fourth element, the chemical reaction, and you actually have a fire tetrahedron. The important thing to remember is take any of these four things away, and you will not have a fire, or the fire will extinguish. Okay, guys, this is up to basic information of our today's topic, fire basic. I hope you enjoy my video and get sufficient knowledge throughout it. Next Sunday we have covered some another chemical engineering topics. Till then, goodbye. Do take good care of yourself.